Well, we're starting a live again. I'm looking for questions, going to give some answers. But right now I'm setting up my laptop to try and get so that I can see when the video comes online and I can see comments on my laptop. Still nobody watching anyway. And it doesn't look like my video's live yet anyhow. There it is. Q&A. We'll see if anybody's awake. In the meantime, I'm going to drink some Starbucks coffee. I've found a Starbucks where the speed is a lot faster, so I'm going to try this again. It's a little bit frustrating the last few times I've tried live. Oh, now we've got 3 people online. No comments yet, but I hope they'll come soon, or questions. I have to figure out how to make my screen, the text larger here. So I'm going to zoom. There we go. There's even a couple of messages. But I zoomed too high, too big. Now I don't see the messages or the comments. Jeez. Life is so difficult. It's, you know, you wouldn't believe that I was a programmer at one time in my life, eh? The way I deal with things. There's the comment. So we've got Mayhem RV. That's a good name, by the way. Are you nearly as bad as you sound? Greg G. and Glenda Albertson. Is this, can you guys hear me? Is the light okay? I'm using a couple of little, look at these things, $5 lights sitting on my cheap tripod. Basically because my lighting will not work. I mean, it's not, I haven't set it up to be like a studio or anything like that. So I got Belongia says, yep. Crap, I keep getting these Facebook messages or, you know, notations or whatever they are right in front of the comments. So Glenda says I look fine. Well, that's nice. But that's the idea. I mean, if I cover up these lights, well, they don't make much difference because most of it's coming from outside. But the sun's going down, so it's going to get a little darker later. So these lights will extend the amount of time that I can do this. Where's your super chat? Sounds good. My super chat should be there. Why isn't it there? That would be crazy if it's not there. I mean, I've set it up so it's supposed to be loud, but you can't see it? I've got a super chat at the bottom of my page. It says show support for Gus and a Bus. That's what, there's a $sign. So super chat seems to work. So what are you guys up to? Anybody in the process of building a van or a bus, or planning that process, or already on the road? If you're on the road, it's pretty hard to see live events unless you've got a good connection. It's hard to see it in Canada with we've got the most antiquated telephone network in the world. My friend was telling me that he uses data in Thailand, and it costs him something like $5 a month, and it's super fast, and it's serving like way more people than, probably more people than are in Canada. Oh, Glenda, you got a bus. How big is it? This is 20 feet long. It's a 1, 2, 3, 5 window. Would be, I think, 17 or 20 passenger model. Oh man, snow, eh, Greg? That's ridiculous. Oh, hey, middle class jackass. is buying me my coffee. Thank you. Thanks for that super chat. I haven't seen one working yet. That's the first one. You broke my virginity. So does anybody want to know anything about my bus or about this lifestyle? That's sort of what I wanted this to be about, like questions and answers. Because I don't have much to say other than I figured out what I'm going to do with my Patreon. I have a photo shoot on Friday, and when I became monetized, many of my photo shoot videos were, some of them were set up to be like, I guess they call it, what I get is a yellow dollar, and that yellow dollar sign means that it's not, it's monetized, it could be monetized, but it's not advertiser friendly. And then some of the photo shoots were just removed from, you know, they're not even monetized. They weren't allowed to be monetized. So I'm starting to put all of the photo shoots in my Patreon, and that's one way to reward the Patreon customers, or clients or users, whatever. But the point is that the videos aren't about being nude. They may be a little sexy, and they're not you know, they're not nearly as bad as many TV shows. So I don't know why they weren't monetized, but if they're not going to be monetized, then I don't have to worry about them being so kind of child friendly. So I'm going to be sticking them all in there into my Patreon. So that's how I'm going to deal with them. Otherwise, I've got these photo shoots happening, and I end up with what do you call it? I end up with a lot of footage, but I can't use it unless I put it in Patreon. Hey, okay, Glenda. Oh, you got a 4-window bus? That's Bantam. Yeah, that's a super Bantam. 4 windows would be 2 feet short. It's like an 18-foot long bus, something like that, which is actually very good. I'm parked at downtown in Vancouver. Well, not downtown, in a suburb of Vancouver, on a main street, in a parking stall, and I fit between the meters because I'm just 20 feet long, and it's a bus. I'm really quite broad, but it doesn't matter. I fit legally in all of the parking spots. That's why I love this bus. Jeff Sheldon, have you thought about doing a roof rise? No, I'm 6 feet, and the roof is I'm 6'1", the roof's 6'1". It just hits the top of my hair. Now, if I put a floor in and a whole bunch of what do you call it? If I build up the floor with insulation and stuff, then I would need to raise the roof. But you know, one of the things that many people don't fully understand. Many people don't fully understand that the bus cost me $5,000, and no matter how much money I put into it, it's only going to be worth $5,000. And I'm 69, so I've got maybe a 5-year lifespan in this bus, or maybe more than that. But you know, I can count on maybe, or I can sort of expect 5 years. But there's no point in me putting piles of money, my life savings, into making the bus pretty or anything like that. All I need is something. I need something to go camping in. I'm not entertaining friends. There's no room for friends. And besides, when you're old like I am and you're traveling around the world, you have, I mean, you meet new people and they are friends, but we're not entertaining each other. You know, usually we might hang out all afternoon. They'll go home, make their own dinner, and I'll make my dinner, and then we're kind of going to sleep. So my social life is not requiring me to have a pretty bus. And, you know, I just keep working on it very slowly, but I have no intention of spending any money or spending the time. And the other thing is, I don't have a garage or a place to do it. I don't have friends to come over and help me. Like, you know, guys my age don't want to come around and help me put a new bus roof on here. So there's a million reasons why it makes no sense whatsoever. Whereas people who are buying a bus and plan to live in it for 40 years, that's a whole nother matter. You know, they're building a house. And so they spend lots of money, as much money on the bus as they would if they built a house. The only thing they avoid is buying the land. And maybe the outside, like the outside of the house is more expensive than the bus. Well, that was a long answer. Greg G, how are you going to celebrate my subs? Well, I don't really celebrate. I mean, I have to be honest with you. It doesn't help me to have, like right now I have 1,800 subs, but my views have actually gone down. So I have more people following me, but less people watching. So, and watching is how YouTube rewards us. And subbing and not watching actually frustrates me because I wonder what's wrong with my videos. Obviously they can improve, but I don't know how to improve them unless I hear from people. So if they don't watch them and they don't comment, then I have no way of growing. Do you understand what I mean? So subs don't make me, don't get me all that excited actually. After I got the 1,000, which allowed me to become monetized, then that was something worth celebrating. But, and I kind of celebrate in the sense that you know, the other day I wanted to chat and thank everybody for it, but I'm not going out drinking, I'm not spending $1 because I'm not making $1. So it makes no sense to me, you know. Some people give away things, and to me that's kind of absurd. I'm not going to make $50 this month, and uploading my videos costs me $265 every time. So I spend $90 uploading my videos and get 50. There's nothing to celebrate yet. I'm still can't, you know, if everybody gives me $2, then I have all my coffee bought, then I could celebrate. I'm kind of kidding with you, but I'm just trying to say that it's not as exciting for me as some people suggest it might be. And 2K subs, maybe at 2K, but I'm not sure. So Middle Class says Patreon is a great way to show and promote videos that YouTube scrutinized. Yeah, it's really silly because my videos about the photo shoots have all been about me going to the beach and setting up my equipment and checking things out, and then a few pictures of the girls. Now I can actually, now that I'm putting them on Patreon, I can do a whole video about the girl instead of, you know, chipping it out and trying to make it mostly me. Now I can just say, here's Sally. She was at the beach and this is what we did. And it'll be actually more fun because there'll be more people and they'll be saying more in the video, so you'll meet new people. Any plans to travel? Well, that's from Belagia. I want to travel every day. I am so frustrated having to stay in Vancouver, but I've had some auto repairs to make. I needed to come here, and the reason I came back to Vancouver in the wintertime was to set up a loan. I got to pay off my bills while I'm here for the few months, and then I'll be traveling. Probably and when I say traveling, I'm traveling quite a distance when I'm doing that. I'm going to be going over to Vancouver Island, up and down the island, and doing a number of photo shoots. And then usually I go to a town called Kelowna, which is 250 miles away, and stay there for maybe 3 weeks. And on the way, we're planning to, hey, Mike Brown, thank you very much. Mike bought me another coffee. Thanks, Mike. Anyway, so I will be traveling. I just won't be traveling much until I get my, you know, my bills are organized and I can afford the fuel. So staying in one place saves me like $300 a month in fuel because I know where I'm going. I can kind of hang around, drive less. And so when I travel though, like just to go to Kelowna, it's probably $250 to get there. Something like that, or maybe a little less, maybe 200. So it's 200 there, 200 back, and then I've got my regular commuting kind of fuel on top of that. So just a trip to another town costs me about 400 bucks. But you never know. Things change. Like if I don't have any more breakdowns and I'm not fixing things, then I'll, funds will come. When I say funds will come, that's just that a lot of these photo shoots I do for free, but some of them are very well paid. And then I'm obviously a happy camper. I get out of debt. I would get out of debt really fast with 10 paid photo shoots. I'd be out of debt. Now I need more coffee. So maybe I should put my glasses on. That'll make this a lot better. Oh, I need a puppy. Yeah, Bologna. Did I pronounce that right? My friend Cruz just started a new channel for his dog, and his dog's gonna have more subscribers than me tomorrow. It's taken me what is it? I've probably been working at this constantly for 9 months, so I have about 200 and some odd videos, and Cruz has 3. But he's a cute guy, and it'll be fun. It's good for him and Chrome. But hey, hi Mike. Yeah, and Mike's added a coffee. Greg G, what pulled me in was your beautiful beach babes, and that's why I started watching. Well, Greg, you got to go put $1 on what do you call it? Patreon or something like that. Then that's where the beautiful beach babes will be, and I can put more on, more videos about them, and more specifically about them rather than about me. In other words, I can do a little piece that they might use, whereas in the past I've just done a video. Oh, I'm going here, I'm at this, like going to this mountain, I'm going to shoot this girl at this mountain, and there was just little snippets about the girl, but now I can put more in it. And yeah, they're babes, but one of the things that many people, I don't often get to talk to people about this, but now people have looked at all the photos on my Facebook page or on my personal page and say, wow, you only get to shoot beautiful girls. Well, the truth is, I shoot people beautifully. In other words, I find a way to make them, they're babes, but I always, if they're not babes, I still make them look like a babe. I like them all. They're all very nice people, and I enjoy what I do, but sometimes the world is so, and this is something that I should say while I'm here, the world is incredibly judgmental with women. Like I'm an old guy and I'm fat, and I walk down the street, I go to coffee, and the girls at the coffee shop say, hey, you're handsome, stuff. They don't, guys don't, they don't have to be like super muscular and, have perfect tummy and perfect abs and fake boobs or anything like that. Guys can be attractive just because they got a smile on their face. So there's no, what do you call it? There's no judgment for guys, but girls have got, the reason why more of them don't get photo shoots and stuff is because they feel so self-conscious. So one of the things that people who look at girls' photos should understand is that most of those girls feel very self-conscious. They're not getting photos taken because they think they're the hottest thing on the planet. And I have to tell them how to stand and how to pose and what expression to have. So, they're just people, and so it's not really fair to judge them. What you're actually judging when you judge a girl that I photograph, you're judging my ability to make them look good. And if you think they look crappy, it's because of me. And that's the best way to put it. And no, I don't do weddings. Jeff, the reason I don't do weddings is because I was married. I no longer believe in marriage. In fact, when I got married, I didn't really believe in it. But besides that, there's no part of a wedding ceremony that I appreciate. And I don't mean to be sort of negative or weird. I got married to my wife at the church down the street. She bought a $20 dress, and we made the pastor invite a neighbor to be witnesses. So we just went to the church and got married. And we got married because her name would change and my sons would have the same last name as me. And that is the only reason that I got married. I mean, I loved her and we had lived together for 10 years before that, but it didn't prove anything to get married. In fact, it felt really silly to both of us that we were getting married. So I don't shoot weddings. Like I say, you have to actually appreciate what you're photographing. Like, I also don't try to be a professional car photographer because cars don't interest me. I can kind of shoot them to make them look pretty good, but compared to a professional car photographer, I am super crappy because they can make an ugly car look wonderful. That's the best way to put it. So I've got to get caught up here with the making fun more fun. This is Lori's RV Life. Oh, Lori, you've got a channel, right? I mean, obviously, if you're called Lori's RV Life, you probably have a channel. I should get everybody to go and subscribe to you. One of the things about YouTube is that YouTubers all gain from each other's success. Let's pretend that my son decided to sign up to YouTube to watch YouTube because of me, and then ended up on Lori's as a subscriber to Lori. We would both win. It's not like we don't compete. It's so anytime I see somebody who is likely to have a channel, I'll almost always shout them out. Middle class jackass should probably go. I can't remember whether you got a channel or not. I try to follow everybody I can that follows me or subscribes to me. I'm going to see if I can. No, I can't. Thought I could open that in another window and then find out. What is this? Kick the dog. I kick a dog now. I'm a cop. What the heck? Where's? Oh, I kick a dog now. I'm a cop. I'm a cop game for some reason. Owen Bennis, I have no idea what you're trying to say. White Lives Matter says, are these guys spammers? Is that what that is? Like, who cares? BJ is blowjob cobbled dick. I guess he's a spammer. So we gotta just make sure he never comes back. God. So report, remove, put user on timeout, hide user from this channel. So guy's gone. Oh, hi, Dollface. So where are you from, Dollface? Oh, you had a message in there, and then the message was retracted, I guess. And like, I actually don't know which is up and down on this, where the new ones are and where there we are. Okay, now I got it. This is pretty tough. There's my friend Timothy. Timothy Painter, and I'm not going to spell it for you. P-A-Y-N-T-E-R. We spent a couple of days in Venice Beach together. We didn't party very much, but we saw some pretty beautiful sights and enjoyed a wonderful taco. And we met each other originally at the RTR. He's got a great channel. You should go and have a look. See how Timothy, you got to go online, do some of these lives someday. Yeah, Mike Brown says he's a troll, and so cobbled dick in me, you know. What the hell? Where do people come up with these names? These guys must be like 12 years old, because I haven't thought that way since I was like really super young, before I was a teenager. Appointing moderators would make it easier on you. Yeah, it would, but you know, how many people we've got watching? 20, no, it doesn't, oh, 30. 13 people. So I can't just select moderators out of the, random number. 13 people is not enough people. So somebody asked me a question about my bus or about what I'm going to do. That kind of stuff. That's the, this is supposed to be a question and answer, but I'm not getting any questions. As you can see, I can talk anyway. Doesn't really matter. I can find things to talk about. And Lori keeps saying, making fun, making fun, making fun. You sound like fun, Lori. Yeah, okay, so what am I going to do? That's like too open a question. I have been, while I'm here over the next, what do you call it? Next month or two before I leave and start to travel, I'm going to be finishing off a lot of projects I haven't worked on the bus. If you saw that I moved the batteries from the front of the bus to the back, that was sort of a how to install solar power video. If you saw that I did that so that I would have a empty box, which is what I'm sitting on right now. It's not a box, it's sort of a seat for a settee, but it used to have the batteries in it. And when I get it cleaned out of other things, mostly the foundations for the old batteries, then I'll be putting in dividers in here and figuring out ways to use that space. And I'm going to have to change my curtains, and I've got to, yeah, just find places to store things. I have tools, my photography gear, and then I'm like inundated with like WD-40 and screwdrivers, and wire that I used, stuff that I need, but I don't use every day. So I've got a whole bunch of that, and I've got to find places for it. Oh, Beth Stamper has a van for sale. So Steph, you have to find a way, or Beth, I mean, you have to find a way to get that, get a link or something on there so people can actually find you, so they can communicate with you. Yeah, Camper Van Carolyn is selling her vans. Her van's very similar to Chrome's and most of the other sort of stealth vanners. I don't know how people can live in those things. I have to stand up. I'm kind of older, but there's no time in my life where I would want to be crawling around. I did live in a travel and stay and camp for weekends in my Volkswagen van, and I couldn't stand up in it. But I only used it in the summertime, and I only used it to go to the beach, and I only used it to sleep in. Otherwise, I had a campfire or something like that going on. So I was always outside. And so I wasn't living in it. That's, a very big difference. So for me, I need the height. I know about monitors, but who would I pick as a monitor? I've got to have friends that I know and can trust that it will always be here. Do you see what I mean? And this is my first, what do you call it? My first real live stream that's actually worked. All the other ones took forever. I don't want to talk... Canny Creek Girl, I don't want to talk about other channels and stuff like that. I can't see the point in it. I'm here for you to talk to me about and ask me questions, not to discuss Caravan Carolyn and stuff like that. So, oh, there it is. Oh, Beth has put her email address on here for some reason. Why did you choose that? Don't you have a Craigslist ad or anything like that? Anyway, Beth has a van for sale, but you can't use this thing and all your comments in this meeting to advertise your van. But anybody who wants a van of whatever sort it is get a hold of Beth. And everybody should understand that when you're not when you're off topic and talking about other things, in most forums they call it spam. So try and stick with what we're doing. I need help. Rather than read your advertising, I would much rather read your question. So Beth loved the bus. I had fun at the RTR because everybody who came by would go, "Hey Gus, how are you?" In fact, I changed the sign the other day, and now more people, because the Gus is red, more people are walking by saying, "Hey, you must be Gus." And that, you know, it helps me. I think it helps it puts people at ease. Instead of thinking, "I wonder who's in that bus," or you know, I wonder if he has to do that. I wonder if he's like ashamed. I wonder if I can talk to him. I wonder. But if I put my sign up there, then friendly people are much more friendly. They come straight up to me and talk to me. Do I ever do meetups? I want to do meetups. I've tried to start a group. It's pretty hard to get a group of people together. I proposed a date, and the only people who responded were like in Connecticut or whatever, someplace like Texas. "Oh yeah, I'd love to go to that, but I'm in Texas." Well, why? Anyway, I kind of go, why did you respond if you have no way of coming, period? And then the other people responded with, "Oh, I can't do it that weekend because of," but they didn't offer another date. So basically, I've been trying to put together the meetups. It's called Pacific Northwest Nomads. It's a Facebook group. You can see the link on any of my videos, other than this one. Most of the non-live will have that. And Pacific PNW Nomads on Facebook. And I'm trying to get enough people together from the Pacific Northwest because we're not... it's really hard to find chunks of land that are big enough to hold maybe 50 vans and motorhomes that people can drive into without four-wheel drives somewhere in the forests in the Pacific Northwest. There's lots of logging roads and places where one person can camp, or 2 or 3 motorhomes or whatever, but there's very few spots that are very large, and that's what I'm trying to find and locate, so we could have basically what looks like an RTR, but up in the Pacific Northwest. Well, when I say it looks like, we just won't have the object of the RTR is not to have seminars and stuff. People learn more from each other than they ever would from a seminar, almost all the time. So Amanda, where do you live? You'd like to meet, but where do you live? No, Beth, I'm in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm going to be traveling. I generally travel up and down the West Coast because I have a limited budget. I'd like to drive across Canada or across northern US to the East Coast, and then down to Florida and across the United States and back up to Canada. And I'd like to do that kind of route, just around in a circle constantly every year. I have to be back in Canada. I can only be gone a maximum of 6 months at one time. I'm not, my trips through the United States can't take longer than 6 months. Otherwise, I'm in Canada generally for 6 months of the year, and then in California for more or less 6 months of the year. My mileage on the bus is about 11 miles to the gallon. When I haven't seen it vary. In other words, if I'm in town, I haven't been able to measure it so that I know whether there's a city and a highway difference. But I drive my bus slow around town, so I get a lot of mileage around town. But you know, when I'm on the highway, I don't think the mileage improves very much or gets worse, unless I'm really speeding. I think if I was when I'm climbing a hill, there's a turbo in this, and you can pretty well, it climbs the hill very fast. I'm actually better than a lot of cars climbing hills, but the amount of diesel that I burn is really heavy. So guys, what do you got to ask me? Any questions about my fridge? I'm just kidding. It's just an Igloo bar fridge that I bought for $70, and it runs off the same power as my it runs off 110 through the inverter. How big is the tank? Well, it cost me $200 to fill it up. 200, more than 200 Canadian, and just about exactly $200 in, say, Oregon or something like that. 200 American is what I mean. That's a lot of fuel, and it gets me a long way. When I've got it full, I can travel quite a long way. I can travel from Vancouver in Canada to the border of California on a tank of gas. But when it runs out, if you ever buy a diesel, don't ever run out of fuel. Getting them restarted is a super hassle, and it can be very expensive. Amanda, you know what biodiesel? There's an interesting thing that I find amongst the van group, or amongst the van life group, is that they're constantly talking about improvements and things. Look at me. I'm nearly 70. I might make it 5 years. I might make it 10 years. But I'm not looking for jobs to do. I'm retired. I'm looking to not do jobs. So thinking about biodiesel is a total waste of my mind. I can think about things that I will do. And none of these things that, you know, a lot of younger people would do make any sense to me. I personally can't understand it. All these buses are worth, the buses this age anyway, are worth $5,000. If somebody put $5,000 into it, I think they're an idiot. Do you know why? Because when they go to sell it, it's not going to be worth the money that they put into it. So they must have unless they have a plan to be like making a house that they know they can live in for a decade or something, investing a lot of money in a bus makes no sense at all to me. So I've spent maybe $1,000 on everything, including the solar panels. So I'm not going to think about biodiesel. Was Chrome in here? Somebody said, hi Chrome, what's that about? Oh, Van City, Van Life. He says, Gus. Yeah, great to see you, Chrome. Somebody did a thing here. Holy crap, he's giving me money. Chrome has sent a super chat. There it is. Let's help Gus out with a little gas. Exactly, that's what Gus needs. Gas money. They've been helping me buy coffee though, Chrome. Don't, you know, gotta go in baby steps. I'm just kidding. So, dang. Oh yeah, Chrome is going, I mean, middle class jackass is jealous of you now, Chrome. I guess I'm going to have to figure out how to go into your channel and provide you with a super chat sometime. I haven't even, this is the second day that I've had super chat running. So seeing these things, especially brilliant orange ones, it's pretty cool. Hey, by the way, how come if you're not already subscribed to Cruise the Bulldog, I think that's what it's called, Cruise the Bulldog, go subscribe. Just so you can make sure that Cruise has more followers than I have. It will take him 3 years, and we want to have him have more subscribers. Or I mean, it took me like a year to get these subscribers, and we want to have Cruise beat me in 3 days. So go sign up to or subscribe to Cruise the Bulldog. And smash the damn bell button so you're notified when that cute little guy makes a movie. So, how has the heater been? Mike James, I put the heater in the back of the bus about 2 weeks ago, and in the last 2 days, I've been debating whether I'll pull it out again, because I'm not cold at night ever, but because I can just jump in that sleeping bag and I'm warm. It goes down to about 6 degrees at night, but the last few days have been crazy. It's been like 10 degrees for a high with a strong wind, and it's and like 95% humidity. So it's almost like you're in a cold shower all day. So I've thought about it a couple of times, but I no need for the heater right now. So nobody's chatting with me anymore. No one's got anything to say. And I got to 23 viewers. Now I don't know what to say. These little lights work good. The bus was just parked beside me. See this little light, this little kind of thing looks like a light switch. So when I take these lights away, well, they're not working that awesome. They're just, yeah, that one works better. It's brighter. See, that light works pretty good. $5 beauty lights. Am I losing connection? Oh, there it is. I'm losing. Not seeing comments. They're very slow. Rush for guitar. You're asking me about a CB radio. I've got nobody to talk to. I was going to come down to. I did have a friend who was going to travel with me. And he went out and bought, what do you call it, a walkie-talkie type of thing that would work for like 10 miles or so. Then he promptly got stuck at the border and they wouldn't let him across. So I drove away with one part of his walkie-talkie and held it for him for 6 months. But no, I can't see any reason whatsoever for a CB. I don't even have a radio in here, and I don't listen to music. So I'm just driving down the road, and I got my mind on the road, and I've got my mind on the scenery that I'm seeing. I've actually never. I was a computer programmer, and a lot of people sitting at a desk doing programming or something would have music on either a headset or in the background. But anytime that happened to me, I'd find it very distracting. So I was not able to work with distractions. And in fact, music doesn't make my drive more pleasurable either. And so talking to somebody on a CB, that'd be even worse, more distracting. And I don't know no one's traveling with me, so I have no use for it. Did you see Mike's super chat? No, maybe I didn't see Mike's super chat. Where was that? Oh, Mike. Oh, hey, Mike. Thank you very much. That's gas money. Thank you very much. I don't know. I didn't see it. That's the problem. Is my scrolling through the through the comments is actually a little bit difficult for me right now because the computer's jumping. You know, you click the button and it goes, and yeah, I don't know whether I've gone past one message or a bunch. So Mike, thank you very much. Did you, okay, now Chrome do a tour of, oh, Chrome, they want you to do it. Chrome's not going to do a tour of my bus. Last year or last fall, before I left for California, I think he asked if he could do a tour, and I went, well, my floor's not finished yet. Let me put my floor in, and I haven't finished the floor, so I think we've got an agreement that he comes and he does a tour when I make it pretty inside, or when I get closer to finish some parts of it. Oh, you liked my. So G Casper said that says, I liked your curtain vid. I was trying to be, you know, sometimes I wonder when I make these videos that are, you know, I say it's my worst mistake, and I'm only talking about curtains, so it probably wasn't my worst mistake, but it's amongst the worst, or one amongst the biggest mistakes. So I kind of expect people to laugh when I'm if you are on Instagram and you go to hashtag van life, there will be people laying on beds, but they, like I was doing, but they will be like 20 years old and they got nice bodies and they look sexy on the bed. So me lying on the bed in that video was supposed to make everybody laugh like hell. Because how stupid is that? An old 70-year-old guy. In other words, I'm not a van life. I should not be in hashtag van life photos. Only my bed and my windows. And maybe one of those girls that I photographed. Anyway, so I expect people to be laughing their heads off, but then often I get very serious comments. Anyway, maybe I'm not as funny as I think I am. More daily bus life videos. Mike, I do them. I try to do them every day, but the last few days, it's been, like I said, it's been 10 degrees. It's freezing. To me, it's like sitting in a cold shower. It's the air is so damp. If it touches your skin at any speed, it's just going to blow all the heat away from you. And because I'm not getting a lot of exercise all the time, I don't have a fast metabolism, so I don't stay warm that long. And so the last few days, I've just been kind of like, I'm not making a video today. I'm just going to get in my bed and sleep in there and hide in a warm spot. I was at the park today, yep. Where are you from, Mike? Oh, Mike James, most of these young people just do it as a fad. Oh, my life is a real living. Hey, middle class, thanks very much. More gas money. Awesome. Gus needs Cruz's sister to stay with him. No thanks. I love Cruz. I love dogs. I love people, but I'm not sleeping with dogs, that's for sure. And I'm not going to be, no, the problem is for me, honestly, I might outlive the dog. What's the point? Like, I mean, not when I say the dog might outlive me if I had a little puppy and stuff. So in my case, having a pet to keep me company, etc., is probably pretty selfish. Because, like, I don't expect to die in 5 years, but I can't expect to live for 10 or 15. So I should not take on responsibilities that are likely to outlive me. That's my logic. And I've had responsibility all my life. I'm supposed to, retirement is about getting rid of responsibility. And that's sometimes pretty hard because owning a book is a responsibility. So getting rid of and downsizing things and getting those old ideas about what I need out of my head is already hard enough. And one of the things about van life is that every time I mention anything, people talk about spending money and buying shit. And in other words, spending money to solve the problem rather than often just solving the problem. So I can't, you know, I can take a few things and put them in my vehicle or like I can replace my batteries, but I wouldn't want to buy more batteries. Do you see what I mean? Oh, Mike, in Ontario. I guess the weather back there is still pretty poor, but maybe in Vancouver, in Toronto, it might have warmed up a bit by now. Because Toronto's only usually a couple of degrees warmer than us. When I say warmer, that depends sometimes on the season, but it's only a couple of degrees difference. Is diesel cheaper than gas? Well, diesel's cheaper by about 10 cents in Vancouver than gas. but it's not cheaper than any place on the planet. It's basically, you know, nearly $6 a gallon, and I get 10 miles to the gallon, so or 11 miles to the gallon. So I'm paying almost 50 cents a mile when I'm in Canada. And I know fuel is cheaper as I go across the country, and it's definitely cheaper when I go down to the United States. That's actually why I like to book photo shoots down near the border, so I can go and load up with gas, but that's not happening this month. Still cold again. Yeah, it's oh, okay. Snow forecast. Where are you in Ontario? Like, if you're in Thunder Bay or in northern Ontario, I can totally get why there'd be snow, but I hope not in Toronto. So who else is on? Come say hi to me. It's $1.14 per liter right now. That's, yeah, that's sort of what we're at for diesel. That's kind of what I'm at for diesel, which is almost $5 a gallon. Well, guys, if you've run out of questions, you run out of ideas and stuff like that, I'm going to have to head out. Live chat, help us get to know you and your dry humor. Well, I actually turn, it might sound, almost every day is fun for me and funny. I make kind of jokes about all kinds of situations. So in other words, somehow I can turn almost any situation into kind of a joke or something that's kind of humorous. But I guess it's because I look at things in a more jovial kind of fashion. I don't take things seriously. I'm like the last person to take something very seriously, and if I do, watch out, for Christ's sake. That's one of the problems I have, is that if I get what do you call it? If I get excited about things, then people think I'm angry at them. So, and I'm not. I'm just like excited and enthusiastic and passionate about something. So then they start thinking they got to run away from me. So I try to be as funny as possible all the time. You sometimes come across more abruptly in comments, even though you usually end with laughing out loud. Well, I am kind of abrupt. I've got there's a tendency for people to tell me what to do. I'm 70 years old. I'm way more intelligent than the average dude. When I say way more, maybe that's an exaggeration. But I'm not in the bottom half of intelligence. I've got 70 years of experience. And so when people come along and start to tell me how to, like, you know, what shirt to buy, I don't mind it too much. But if they're telling me to solve my problem in their way, they're asking me to live their life. And I find that incredibly disrespectful. Now, they think they're helping me, but that's just the way I am. I find it kind of disrespectful to tell me how to tie my shoes. Do you know what I mean? I know I've been doing it for 70 years. No matter whether it's right or wrong, I'm not going to change it. So my point is that sometimes my abruptness comes from that. It's like, what the hell? Why am I getting told how to tie my shoes? So I don't know what, how would I put it? The reality is that most things in life I find kind of funny. Like, I was parked at McDonald's, like for 4 days with my truck that wouldn't start. And I knew my truck wouldn't start, so I tried to do what I could today, and then I go and walk around and, make my day more comfortable. But everybody was starting to tell me how to fix my truck. And the thing is that I'm here with my truck. I know what the symptoms are, and I've been talking to mechanics and things like this. So the reality is that all of them are wrong. All of them. Because guesses don't help me. a real mechanic here checking stuff out does help me. So sometimes my responses to people will be a little frustrating. It'll be my frustration coming out, right? So Amanda Lee, you're advertising again, right? Oh, $1.50. It's asking me to check you out each time now. When you comment, because you commented with your email address, it's now asking me if your current comment is going to be allowed. Hi, Annette. I'm not up late. It's about 9 o'clock or something. But she's going to sleep. Okay, so it's late.